Welcome everybody to SMM. This is the Malaysian exclusive tournament because this tournament is held in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And only Malaysian teams can participate in this portion. So we have teams like Orange,
Boo.
MUFC, discriminatory teams. Well, it doesn't even matter. Why are you booing? Because no Chinese team showed up for this SMM, so...
Why would they?
Dang. It's a pretty big prize pool. But there is a local tournament that's supposedly has a lot of sponsors, so the Chinese teams decided just to go to that. So, yeah, with me is Luminous, and this is supposed to be a very exciting game, but it's also very long, so we'll just get into it. Any opening remarks?
Nope. Pure looks actually pretty awesome here. We don't generally see Alina inverses, at least I don't in Dota 1 games. And then we also see Magnetar on the other side and an Alchemist. So looks something different, and that's always good to see.
Yeah, Magnus, of course, notorious for being ridiculously powerful in Dota 2 at the moment. And the Southeast Asians don't really pick him up, but the Malaysians this tournament actually have been experimenting with TC, very popular pickup in China. Magnus, pretty standard Dota 2 heroes. So I guess it's nice to see them incorporating into Dota 1, but enough small talk, we'll get right into this game. So I'm pausing in 3, 2, 1, go. So I'll go over Orange really fast. We have M, which is Mushi playing the Templar Assassin, Extinct playing the Lina, and the rest are Dota 1 players exclusively. The other players on Orange do not want to play Dota 1 because they find it too hard to switch back and forth. So WW is playing the Windrunner, JY is playing the Puck, and AA is playing the Sand King.
Yep. Meanwhile, on Sino side, we have Wuyan on the Darkseer. I am not sure if that's the actual pronunciation, but it sounds Chinese enough to me, so I will do it that way. Sora is going to be playing the Twin Dragon. We have Music V on the Alchemist, Missy Z on the Magnus.
Actually, pause at 825.
825.
825.
Okay, I'm there. And the last player is Piano on the Shadow Demon. What's up?
I almost... Okay,
Uh-oh.
this is supposedly...
Are you going to type it out to me?
I'm gonna put it in the Skype chat, and of course you can all see Z as my push. So, for Luminous being late to several casts in a row, I'll be yes to
Several
read
casts in a row.
yesterday and today.
I wasn't late yesterday. We didn't even have a time yesterday.
Afternoon, and then you messaged me at 9 p.m.
Yo, man.
This is
That
the
was my
hardest tongue
afternoon.
twister in the world, and you have to say it.
This shit is easy.
Okay, say it.
Alright. The 6 sick sheik 6 sheep sick.
Say it again.
I got that one already. The 6... Oh, hold on. The 6 sick sheiks 6 sheeps sick.
Wow, that was actually...
Damn! This is like... I got coaching by Ruminous. I know how
the
the English now.
six sheets, the sheep six. I don't know why that's the hardest tongue twister.
Get on
in the
my
world.
level. Shit.
Shit, too hard. Alright, gonna unpause in 3, 2, 1. And yeah, 827, 828, 829.
That was a lot less entertaining than you expected to be. Trialing versus Trialing on the bottom here. And we have Windrunner, Sand King, Lina. Very, very nuke bursty Trialing. Looks like Observer has dropped down to block this pull count. On the other side, a lot more defensive Trialing here. Ice Path. Great AoE, great defensiveness, and looks like they are circling around. Of course, Shadow Demon defensive disruption is all good. And Alchemist with the Acid Spray and Stun is pretty good defensive play as well. And not to mention, they got a lot of meat. They got a lot of HP on this kind of trialing. Alchemist is 700. Twin headed, 650. Pretty good.
We all know how much you love that meat, especially in your mouth.
Dang.
Anyway, just some opening remarks. Drow was actually one of the first bans. Drow is in the Captain's Mode pool in Dota 1. So that's something. Drow, of course, ridiculously stupid now with the incredibly powerful buff. But she's not going to be a factor. Bat was also a first ban. Yeah.
What did we say? What did we say during the patch analysis about Drow? I'm not too sure.
You said it was going to be overpowered. I said I said I thought we could kill her, but you were right on the ball in this patch. In the winter patch last year, I was right on the ball.
I don't remember that.
Guess 1 for 1. No, I called Darkseer and Bat.
In any case, here on the mid lane, something that we seeing more and more often, Darkseer being put on mid to really counter Templar Assassin. As you guys know, Refraction is something that pretty good against bursty one-shot nukes, but not against Iron Shell because you can see that Templar Assassin can't really even go into the lane with that one Iron Shell on that melee creep.
Yeah, Iron Shell has a deceptively large area of effect. Like, if you're 300 units in range of it, it pretty much hits you right on the nose. Anyway, Lina and Sand King standing around. Not too big of a fan of support Sand King, who's not going to get any fire and no experience, but Southeast Asians continuously run it, and they get a lot of kills, but it doesn't usually prove to be too successful. Meanwhile, Puck, very popular Southeast Asian pick, one that I think other regions could pick up themselves. I think Puck is a vastly underrated hero. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, actually, when I had the chance to scrim with Fluff and stuff,
Oh, looks like there's gonna be an
mid
Alchemist
lane
stun
happening
on the
right
lane.
now here. Nuke goes on, the Barrel Strike does hit as well. Ice Path on the Lina and the Acid Spray, doing all sorts of down. Lina runs right back in, Shackle Shot onto 2, LSA onto 2 as well. Sand King on the run, Sand King, one more hit to the face, should be fine, has a lot of tango and salve left, and that's a lot of punching, but really no real kills being taken. Double salve on the 2 supports, and they're gonna come right back in. And yeah, just what I was saying here, when I got the chance to scrim with Fluff and stuff, which you can watch on my YouTube channel, they're still chasing on the Shadow Demon. He should be fine. He was actually talking a lot about Puck in terms of the mid lane, really controlling against certain heroes and whatnot. And as a team fight, he's not too bad. He doesn't have too much of effect aside from the Dream Coil, but because of the low cooldown, it's a really good mid-game ganker as well.
Yeah, I think Puck is pretty underrated, but unfortunately doesn't really have the damage output to deal with this really, really aggressive, damage-oriented meta, quote-unquote. But anyway, on the spot lane, Winner is getting pretty much free farm. Meanwhile, Alchemist has an astounding 0 CS. Clearly, he has not been watching Inwis's guide to Alchemist,
Nope.
as he should be maxing that stun since he ain't getting any farm. But
Yeah,
we'll see.
Do you think he's maxing stun? I actually did not check.
Well, he has 1 stun, 1 acid spray,
right, and
because he's level 2.
He should be taking a stun at level 3 as well. This lane is just
Yeah,
really
it is stun.
difficult, and yeah, it is gonna be unstable concoction. So yeah, he maybe he is watching that guy.
Dang. Shout out to Luminous' guide. AA is coming up next, but that's another story. Anyway, on the top lane, Magnus off lane, probably the best off laner in the current metagame versus Puck. Puck, no danger of dying because Magnus can't really skewer him, because Puck can just escape. But Magnus is not really in too much danger of dying either. And mid lane, Darkseer versus TA. Darkseer really appreciates having all this farm and experience, as opposed to not usually getting it in the off lane. But is losing out to farm against the TA at the moment.
Yeah, but more importantly, really shutting down in terms of TA. TA generally would dominate on the mid lane, not only, of course, getting her phase boot and blink dagger, but making sure the other mid does not get anything. And the fact that we're going to have a more even matchup doesn't matter too much to the TA, but really will annoy her as TA is trying to kill the Darkseer on the mid lane, but find that she is not able to, considering that there is Surge and she's getting he is getting a lot of farm. Now you can see on the bot lane here, Sand King and Lina looking to pressure a lot because there is a Observer Ward blocking out the pull count. Both lanes are kind of screwed here and there. They're not getting too much HP. They're not getting too much farm. Shadow Demon putting a point into her into his Shadow Poison, something that we don't see too often at level 2. Generally, you see Soul Catcher, obviously, but this lane, like I said, going to play mostly defensively, and Soul Catcher is more of an offensive spell, so he's going to be skipping that one, at least for now, and try to harass as he is making sure Alchemist could get some level in farm.
I'm not too sure Windrunner has the Ring of Basilius turned on. They're not doing any damage to the tower, except with that Meat Wagon, but it's still turned on, giving the opposing heroes a lot more experience than I would have thought. But I guess, you know, they just want to apply a bit of pressure with that Meat Wagon. Meanwhile, on the top lane, looks like Puck duking out against Magnus Skewer in, oh man, in the direction of the Illusory. Nice preemptive Skewer as he's going to animation cancel the Shockwave. Not going to be enough as the salve up is going to allow Puck to live to fight another day. Puck gonna be out of regen, but he should have a bottle coming to him on the courier. It is, so 2 couriers on this Malaysian team of Orange, even though they don't usually run 2 couriers in Dota 2. But, you know, I guess in this really aggressive game, even though there are no kills, they want the added benefit of 2 kills. But it looks like Soul Catcher going to be cast on the winner, as well as the Unstable Concoction. Ice Path does just manage to hit with just a tip as the Barrel Strike flies back in. Winner does take the fall for the first split, as Piano, the Shadow Demon, does pick up the kill. Meanwhile, it looks like Sand King and Lina are on the retreat. So Soul Catcher and that level 2 Concoction doing a number and managed to finish off the Windrunner, who's getting a lot of the farm in that lane. So that's nicely done by Sino, as Alchemist charging up the stun again, And he's going to go in for the Sand King. Sand King going to get stunned out of the Sandstorm, as I didn't know that happened, but looks like a nice shot and a Burrow Strike comes in. Looks like WW does pick up the kill on Piano. Alchemist is on the run. Alchemist is going to take the fall. Jakiro is going to be on the run next, as it's 2-2. Windrunner does pick up a double kill. Man, who came out ahead in that exchange? I think
that was really all over the place. I guess Piano taking up the first blood might be a little bit better, you know, in terms of the goal. But with Windrunner picking up a double, it sounds a lot more even, and that's really the benefit of the Scourge Tri-Lane being able to push so far into the enemy territory. They really prevented the enemy getting access into that secret shop. No magic stick were being picked up for either side, and if there were magic sticks, that team fight would have went a lot differently, because there were so many spells being used. And I gotta say, that was probably off the mistake of Scourge. They should be picking, everybody should have magic stick, especially on this kind of tri-lane versus tri-lane situation. So pretty even team fight, but Windrunner getting that double kill, already have arcane boots up, and that's really bad news here for the defensive tri-lane here on Sentinel.
Especially after seeing that the Shadow Demon is putting points into Shadow Poisoning, definitely want to have that magic stick, as looks like Blue, going back to base, has full HP but not full mana, so he's just going to leave the lane entirely. Meanwhile, Templar Assassin does pick up a double damage. I think in that exchange, even though the Radiant or the Sentinel did pick up the first blood, Windrunner did pick up a double kill and got a lot more experience, so Windrunner level 5, and now you can see Alchemist really having a difficult time. Is level 5 himself, picked up the Tranquil Boots, so I guess he's not having too bad of a time, but still not getting too much farm to speak of.
Yeah, also a pretty good play here on Alchemist. One thing I did not mention, my Alchemist guy, as they're making a go here on Piano. Piano just got nuked down. This is exactly what this trial is supposed to do. Nice and unstable concoction on the Lina, but really not going to do too much. Windrunner being pop here on the Windrunner, but getting a little bit blocked by Sankey. They're going in for the twin hit, but there's Burrow Strike. Low cooldown spell, LSA, Dragon Slave. Look at the burst. This is what the lane is designed to do, and glad to see them just finding that.
Oh, Puck on the top lane, Puck on the top lane being chased down by the Magnetar. Can Magnus pick up the last hit? Yes, he does. Magnus so fast. Definitely has higher base move speed. I think Magnus is like 305 or 310 base move speed. Definitely really fast. Cannot run the Puck, as looks like the Rain do pick up, or the Sentinel. God, I used to never make that mistake, but now it appears I'm making it all the time. As Darkseer gonna make his way to the bottom lane, has a haste rune, gonna get stunned by the Light Strike. Right, nice. Oh, as Burrow Strike flies in, chain stuns were not on point, but Windrunner is gonna get stunned by an unstable concoction. Windrunner is gonna take the fall. Darkseer, very low HP, gonna wand up, but meanwhile Templar Assassin's fighting the mid lane. As I'll let you finish now.
Yeah, on the top lane here, the reason that Magnus was able to catch up, Puck doesn't even have boots of speed yet. So really, this showing that Missy's really out farming the Puck, and to be honest, showing it to him as he's killing and trying to repeatedly kill him multiple times. Puck has now teleported on the bottom.
Alchemist, say it ain't so. I think they're waiting for the Chemical Rage. No, as Puck did teleport to the bottom lane. Use the Loser Orb on creeps and gets the heck out of there. Magnus gonna charge in like a boss. Rhino Mantar not caring about anybody. Can they find the Lina? Lina is gonna teleport out safely. Wow, as they got juked, but looks like Sand King does take the fall. Shadow Poison gonna fly in on the disrupted Windrunner, but that's gonna get an engage. And 5-4 Templar Assassin wants to join the fun as well, as this spawn lane is gonna become a giant cluster fest, to put it lightly.
Yeah, but it seems like Sentinel is just coming way better out of it. They have better kind of initiation move. The range of this this Sentinel team is just insane. Skew's long range, Ice Path's long range. The Unstable Concoction has what, a 700 throw range. Shadow Demon Disruption is not too bad, and well, they were able to pick off one by one. The Scourge is pretty good at offensively initiating, but less so of in defensive escape. And having heroes like Darkseer to help you chase and whatnot, it really showed in that engagement. And sure, Alchemist has no farms, only what 17 CS compared to Windrunner's 45. I gotta say, despite of that, Sentinel's winning.
Keep in mind, Alchemist only has 1 point to Goblin's Greed at this stage in the game, so his farm is only going to accelerate. Meanwhile, Windrunner, if you give her farm, okay, you can pick up Mecha, you can pick up Force Staff, but really, it's not really too much to write home about. But still, TA has not been too big of a factor and has 45 CS herself, so she's going to play very solidly. As unfortunately can't check out the gold in this game. TA not yet close to the Blink Dagger, gonna be delayed a little bit longer. Meanwhile, the Scourge gonna block the pull, as the teams are starting to stabilize a bit more. But yeah, Sentinel should be feeling pretty alright. Like you said, the Scourge trying a lot more damage, but the Sentinel definitely coming out on top with these engagements.
Yeah, smoking going in the middle here from Sanking and Lena. Just one thing about that Windrunner mech. I mean, if she does finish that mech really, really fast and they decide to like start pushing a couple of towers, that is actually pretty big gain because, having extra 250 heal plus the extra armor, it's pretty legit against a bursty heavy team, comprising of a Magnetar and a Twin Head Dragon. So if he does finish the mech, we've definitely seen in the past where mech has a significant impact in fights. But he's not even near that mech just yet. Teleport going to mid lane here, and these guys are patiently waiting. They are going to start up with the burst strike. LSC is going to hit, and the burst damage are just raining down. But this Darkseer, we talked about how tanky he can be with the Vitality Booster and the Magic Wand and the Cloak. Just a perfect combination of item. Survives the smoking. I don't think any other hero would have survived that. But good surge and a vacuum to back him up, and he's right back in the lane.
Yeah, I mean, Scourge definitely spent a lot of time in that engagement as Magnus does kill the puck on the top lane, getting teleport out, and got the tower as well. Beast. This Magnus is playing like a beast as Alchemist morphs into Chemical Rage, trying to go in the Windrunner. But in that engagement on the mid lane, Sanking and Lena were smoked up for quite a while and could not even make a kill happen. So that's definitely going to keep them back. And again, I'm not too big of a fan of Sanking. So low level, so low farm. It's not like Epicenter gets stronger as the game goes on.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Sun's always good. I mean, he's a very elusive support. As a support hero, he doesn't die too often, so that's not too bad because of things like Sandstorm. If he ever wants to flash farm and make himself a semi-carry, Cossack Finale is pretty good for that as well. But yeah, like you said, they took a lot of time in the mid lane. Not only are they not gaining level, they're also not letting the Windrunner farm. Remember, Windrunner is not exactly a best mid-game carry unless she has a fast mech, which she is not getting because those two supports are not allowing her to farm. So you're not going to leave a Windrunner against 3 heroes and expect her to get her farm that way. But now she's getting back into lane, currently holding on to about 600 gold. So I assume there is something on the courier. There's a buckler on the courier, so the fast mech is her goal. And I'm very curious on what the Scourge team would do with this fast mechs. A lot of times, teams would just like, oh, farm mech and let's keep on farming. And I gotta say that's probably one of the bigger mistakes you can make. It's a good kind of timing weapon. You gotta use it accordingly.
So it's going to be a giant gathering, and like you said, Invisible Magnus going to come in, as looks like Shaodyun going to get shackled. The skewer does whiff. Shaodyun does get a nice defensive disruption, as X does take the fall. The defensive disruption saved the Shaodyun's life, as Alchemist going to charge in so tanky, just with that Chemical Rage, as he's going to get shackled to the Darkseer for about 2.5 seconds, but it looks like Windrunner going to get purged. Does manage to catch the Windrun off, as she's going to try to escape. Can she escape? Missy Z does pick up another kill on AA, as looks like the Shadow Poison not going to be enough. One more Shadow Poison just barely whiffs, as can the Magnus get the uphill Shockwave Magic Wand, as the winner is going to escape, but Sentinel coming out ahead. Meanwhile, TA, can she kill the middle tower at the very least? She is going to get that, and that is going to give her a Blink Dagger, and she's going to need to make a lot of things happen with this. Mushi is going to have to go on an absolute rampage with this, but if any player can go on a rampage with TA, besides Ferrari and like Dendi, Mushi is definitely that guy.
Yeah, Mushi actually is one of the more original players that used Templar Assassin to, at least in the Asian scene, so he definitely knows the hero very well. It was a calculated fight that the Scourge took on the bot lane. I mean, Mushi definitely had a teleport scroll, had phase boost, full bottle, could have easily put it on the bot lane and start, assisting his team, but really said, I want the tower on the mid lane. It's a little bit more important, and that's exactly what they went for. You can see Mushi trying to get a kill on the mid lane, waiting Darkseer to run by, but really Darkseer so tanky, the Surge is going to bring him out. There you go, Surge. It kind of nullifies that trap, and really right back to farming for Darkseer.
Wow, TA had Haste Rune, but did not want to keep up the pursuit, knowing that it probably was a futile endeavor, as TA continued to farm. She looks like she wants to get his farm going on, as Alchemist, how many points in Goblin Speed? A level 2 Goblin Speed at level 8, so he's going for a complete...
Very standard, yeah.
Well, he's got
defensive build.
2 points Goblin Speed, 1 point, or 2 points in Acid Spray? I think
1 point Acid Spray. I'm sure he maxed Unstable Concoction, a build that requires you, or if the game requires you to play a little bit more aggressive, this is probably the best build. You max your stun, and then you go back to your
Scourge. They want the Darkseer again. I don't know if this is the right target to try to pick off, as he's just going to surge away. Dreamcoil does catch the Darkseer. Burst Strike going to fly back in. Darkseer so tank, waiting. They are going to kill the Darkseer. That's going to mean that they don't have to deal with that threat for another 40 seconds, so that was well worth it. But still devoting a lot of resources, but again, not dealing with Darkseer for 40 seconds. Always a good trade. But Sentinel going to use this time to push in. Magnus has his own dagger up, as Sentinel, even if they lose their Darkseer, seem to be making the right moves at this stage of the game. Sino, not a team you hear about, but they seem to be very composed against all-star players like Mushi and Extinct.
Darkseer actually bought back here to try and defend that tier 2 tower on the mid lane. The buyback cost is actually not too big in this particular stage of the game, and I actually like that move quite a bit. You don't want to give that Templar Assassin that tier 2 tower. Probably she won't be able to take it because she doesn't have enough damage, but don't want to make that next push a little bit easier. Mushi, by the way, does have the Blink Dagger already picked up for about 2 minutes or so. Meanwhile, on the top lane here, Magnus blinks right back in, reverse here onto 2, and these 2 supports just have no chance. And now nice skewer onto the Fairy Dragon as well. He is going to orb to the right here, and is he going to make it out? That's a question. Blink Dagger cooling down in just about 20. Oh, look at that cast range of the Purge. We talked about the range of the Sentinel team, but damn, forgot that Purge's OP range absolutely, and just found that puck. Another kill going towards Sino. So Mushi's squad is having kind of a big issue right now. They don't really have that good of a mid-game team fight. I'm not sure how they can make a comeback here.
Yeah, they really need to get that Sand some farm going, but he's just going to be on complete support too, so they're going to have to find other ways. Keep in mind, Mushi's been nowhere in these engagements, so once Mushi starts entering the picture, the Scourge might be able to turn it around, but so far they are getting themselves in an early deficit, having lost 2 towers thus far versus, well, tower count is completely even, but the experience and the gold being gained by Magnus and Darkseer is completely not what you want to see if you're an Orange fan.
Yeah, Observer scopes out that TA is coming right back here, and a cancel on the TP, and Alchemist TP's out as well. They're going to just forfeit this particular tower. And again, they're using these kind of high impact here on these particular games and trying to take tower with that, and they're going to defend the 10-mid tower as well. Surge back out, Dreamcoat isn't going to lock the Darkseer into place. Where is the Chainsaw afterwards?
Oh,
no,
Mushi.
LSA misses a blink on Mushi onto a very awkward position. Darkseer probably will even survive. He is very low into Laguna Blade, and look at the stuns. Finally got the kill, but that was a 4-man gank. And
I think that vacuum actually helped the Scourge pick up the kill on Darkseer. I think might have been a little bit of misplay. Happened pretty fast, as there's going to be a deny attempt. Mushi does pick up the deny on the mid tower. But again, another tower lost, less map control. All the tier 1 towers are dead. Meanwhile, the tier 1 tower on the bottom lane is still alive for the Sentinel. Meanwhile, I want to see what Magnus has picked up besides Blink Dagger, as I can't click him. Just the Blink Dagger and the Arcane Boots, that's pretty much what all Magnus needs. We'll see if he starts transitioning into that Refresher Orb, or if he decides to pick up a bit more damage.
Purge going on the Sand King right now. He will Brutal Strike right out into the comforts and the bosoms of that Templar Assassin. Templar Assassin will definitely rescue her. But one thing, more of the important thing to talk about is that Alchemist has a Relic flying in on that career.
Wow,
defensive
really?
tri-lane. Defensive tri-lane with only 60 CS in 18 minutes. You don't expect him to do anything, but with the Relic picked up so quickly, hey, you know, that's all you ask for. Also, there's a very low HP tower on the bot lane. I think they're leaving this tower alive so that the Alchemist gets some defensive TP should he needs it. And if Alchemist ever decides to leave the lane, he will just deny the tower as he go along. Or maybe they just forgot. There's always that.
Oh, Puck is going to blink out of there. Does have the dagger, but Jakiro says, "What's up, dude?" As he's going to try to escape. Ice Path does hit the Puck. Here comes the Shadow Demon, going to get orbed out of the Illusory Orb. As, oh man, the Skewer Dream Call is going to pop, but they are going to melt this Puck. This Puck is having a miserable game. Meanwhile, like you said, I did not expect that Alchemist picking up the Relic so fast, but this tower is definitely helped. But he might just lose some of his farm. Epicenter and the Chainsawn's going to fly in. Laguna Blade, 2 ultimates being dropped. Jeez. As they are going to completely decimate that Alchemist. So many kills happening. Only 19 kills in 19 minutes, but still a lot of action happening all around the map. And the fact that Puck's dying is definitely not helping out the Scourge, as this tower might take the fall. I think it can be defended. Mushi really not doing too much, as pretty surprising.
I feel like Scourge is really playing this one wrong. Again, my question was, when they finish that mech, what will they do? And there's just no response. They're playing exactly the same way as they've been playing. To be honest, they could be taking a little bit more aggressive position in terms of team fight and whatnot. Sure, there is a Magnus to deal with, and Magnus just whiffs that reverse polarity, gets only the Lina inverse. It looks like Sand King is going to be the next target. Oh, that Skewer finds the Sand King. Another shockwave bring him down, and Templar Assassin now going to work. The question is, will she able to kill a lot more? They really do need to do so. Puck stays alive thanks to that mech here by the Windrunner, so they get 2 for 2 so far. And I think that's going to be the end of the engagement. As I say that, though, we do see Mushi chasing against Wu Yan. Wu Yan does have Surge on cooldown for now, but oh, another trap slowing him down. Is he really going to get to the kill here? There's Puck coming right back in the
clutch winning rift!
Couple more right clicks should do it. Blink Dagger forwards. Mushi will be thanking his lucky stars, or just Puck, as Puck really making sure they got the kill. That was clutch.
Yeah, that Puck trying to make up for his early deficiency. 0, 4, and 5, but that kill definitely helped the Scourge recover a bit. Like you said, Magnus' ultimate only hit one person. But again, Alchemist is farming up as he finished the raid. It's only about 200 gold from finishing it. Alchemist might find himself in a sticky situation, spies a wild TA with his little eye. As here comes the Melt Strike and the Dream Coil. Mushi picking up a dominating streak, and this is what we want to see from Mushi if you're an Orange fan. As he finally decides, alright, I think it's time to start playing the game.
Yeah, big mistake here by Music V. You need to pop that ultimate as soon as possible. Popping it at low HP doesn't actually give you too much health. And really, when he used it, he was basically half dead. And Mushi...
Probably on cooldown, I guess.
Yeah, maybe on cooldown. One thing about the Mushi is that he's actually going for Mithril Hammer. No BKB first. If you're going for BKB, generally you pick up the Ogre Axe. So looks like he's going to play full offensive with Desolator. And that's the way I like to see him play it. Great offensive. And looks like they're going to pick up yet another hero. Mushi hiding very patiently, as both teams have observer wards in this vicinity. I didn't wish he would just jump straight for that, but perhaps seeing two supports, don't really want to chance it.
Yeah, like you said, because he doesn't have that Ogre Axe, not gonna be too aggressive because he is lacking in terms of HP, might just melt. And if Mushi dies, that can leave a huge opening to at least for Alchemist to pick up the Radiance during the duration of Mushi's death, but there might be engaged in Shadow Poison. Is scouting out the Lina. Meanwhile, Darkseer picks up a gem, trying to immediately deward and try to catch Mushi as the Shackle Shot does manage to hit the Darkseer. Scourge looks like they want to get the heck out of there, and they are going to do so as they're going to split up completely. Shadow Poison is going to scout the Lina as she's going to Light Strike Array and teleport out. Nice move by the Lina, getting a safe teleport out. Meanwhile, Puck dewarding himself as Luminous getting ganked by his phone. Alchemist should have the Radiance up, has died a couple times. No, still about 300, 400 gold away from finishing that. And we'll just check out the overall farm stat and levels. Looks like the Sentinel, even though they have a kill lead, Jakiro level 7, but other than that, they're pretty solid in terms of the level department. Meanwhile, the Scourge, overall pretty even in terms of levels.
A player's forces are under attack.
As Lumis still probably being ganked by his phone. Windrunner trying to make her way slowly but surely towards that Axe. Sanking, it'll be interesting to see what Sanking going for, as looks like he's trying to pick up a fast Blink Dagger himself. Templar Assassin pretty close to finishing up the Desolator, I imagine. I think it's on its way, and once Mushi picks out that Desolator with the Haster in his bottle, pretty much going to mean an easy kill anywhere on the map.
And normally I'm not the biggest fan on Sanking picking up, Naked Blink. I feel like Sanking really want those utility-based items, whether it's a drum or arcane boots, really make sure that he could, do a lot more in team fight after his combo. Because without items like that, you could blink in and do your stuff, but after that you are out of mana completely. However, in this particular game, seems like he's actually having trouble staying alive, so might not be so bad. You jump in, you unleash your combo, and whatever happens, happens afterwards. So if you stay alive, hopefully get enough magic wand charges for next Burrow Strike. If not, you already done your job. I don't expect him to do too much because he had a tough early game. And I think rushing a Blink Dagger straight right now gives them the necessary team fight to keep up with that Magnus. Magnus just out of this world right now in terms of his farm. And look at him, already Oblivion Staff, gonna be going for Refresher Orb for sure. And here we go, they're looking for that Puck. Puck, a very elusive fellow, but if he gets disrupted, that might just be it. Oh, Puck sees him. And this 5-man smoke gang, not going to do too much, but now is going to transition into a push.
Yeah, Darkseer has a gem, so they are dewarding, but Puck managed to get that map awareness going. And just to follow up on that Sanking point, I don't really know if Blink Dagger is the right option in order to survive. I mean, in terms of initiating, it's a solid option, so if you want to go for that...
I don't think he should care about survival right now. He's been dying a lot. Might as well just, unleash your combo, and hopefully your team does the job. Kind of the other way to think about it.
Oh, I guess
Make yourself a glass cannon.
I just misheard you.
Yeah. I'm sure everybody else misheard me because my English is not too good. Puck, by the way, invisible, trying to set up on this huge Dream Coil, but everybody's relatively spread open. There's 4 right under tower. This is the time to go. Are they going to go right now? There is a glyph being used. They're waiting for them to baiting them in. Puck still not going. Puck staying in this position. Is he going to blind blink going in? No, they're going to just use a glyph. And they're going to defend it without showing a single hero. The Senso. Oh no, TP gets canceled here by the Magnus. Magnus will scare out and take the stun. And there is the trap from the TA. TA will come right in and get that kill. A very, very important kill against Magnus. Oh.
Just as you said that, blink out, but the shackle shot. So Axe managed to clean up a godlike streak for WW. Gonna be well on his way towards that Hex. Looks like they're gonna try to pick off Roshan. Mushi with that Desolator killed the tier 2 tower on the top lane. Was threatening to apply a bit of pressure, so that might be why the Sentinel are having a bit of indecision. No, they're not going for the Roshan. They could kill it pretty easily with that Desolator, I imagine. But it looks like they're going to ban that pursuit. And if you're having trouble with English, you should contact Ruminus, dude. He's an English teacher.
He is trying to be English, dude. Not a full-fledged one, just
You're just jealous. You're just jealous of Ruminus's superior intellect and superior physical attractive skills.
He lifts.
He does lift.
Yeah, so... By the way, Orange... I think they're making a pretty big mistake. Generally, when you get a 1-kill advantage, it's not enough to go into a Roshan pit, but you kill Magnus. That is like the pinnacle of their team fight on the Sentinel team, and they're not really caring. They have the Scourge advantage on the Roshan, and they're not taking it all. Hopefully, this does not come back to bite them in the butt later on, but having an Aegis on Templar Assassin allows Mushi to have so much more option. Maybe even giving it to Winrunner because she does give you a lot of team fight potential. Now are they going in? This gotta be wrong, but he's gonna, I guess, just solo for it, using his 2 illusions to tank.
Well, I guess the difference now is that Sanking has a Blink Dagger, so if they initiate... No, Sanking gonna actually Bro Strike into the Roshan. I thought he would have just stayed outside of the pit. Maybe they want to de-ward a bit more, as...
I think they're gonna end up getting this Aegis, but people watching at home, this is, like, really as wrong as you could get it. At least how I feel about it. But what I know, I'm just here on my Monaco and Big Cigar. You know, these guys are actually playing the game, so...
Yeah. I have no response to that, as my brain is not working very well today. Meanwhile, Winrunner trying to finish up that Hex. Let's just check out Alchemist for a bit, as I've been constantly opening up the CS score, but I'm not really looking at anything, I'm just opening up for the sake of opening it up. Alchemist is going for that AC. Desolator gonna reduce that a bit, but getting that minus armor for his team gonna be absolutely huge. Meanwhile, Darkseer has not made any item progression since picking up the gem. We'll see if he goes for Pipe or trying to go for Shivas, as Darkseer not getting too much farm in the midst of all this. Not too good for the Sentinel, as I feel like Darkseer can definitely make a huge impact in this game, but yeah, still can.
To be honest, like, Alchemist is by far the most hardcore carry here on this particular game, so if this game drags out long enough and Alchemist has a relatively decent game, he's going to be absolutely fine. He is just going to accelerate into farm with Goblin Greed and, of course, Acid Spray and Radiance. It's just insane how quickly you can farm. You know, in Dota 2 pub game, normally you get 600 gold per minute and you feel pretty happy for a carry, but Alchemist, he goes in the realm of 800 to 1,000 GPM. So, I mean, if this game goes along, Music V is really going to lift his entire team and put it in his shoulder and carry it. But my question is a little bit different. What do you think about Tranquil Boots on Alchemist? It feels like Tranquil Boots is all the hype nowadays, and everybody's getting on every single hero. Do you think Alchemist is a hero that actually needs the regen?
Not really, but he got it as his first item when he was being pressured by a tri-lane.
Sure.
So that armor was definitely helpful. That regen, definitely helpful. When you pick it up as your first item against a really offensive tri-lane, definitely worth it. And it's not like Alchemist can't really just sell those later on or disassemble that and make a giant item. So I think the order really means a lot in this game.
Yep.
But meanwhile, Scourge just dancing around, no Roshan timer, but Roshan was taken about 2 minutes ago. Mushi picking up the Yasha, still abandoning that BKB, going for the Mantis style instead. Going very, very aggressively, but he will die very quickly, especially against Raids and Acid Spray. Those refraction charges and the Ion Shell, those refraction charges won't stand up. So Mushi gonna have to play very, very careful on how he positions his hero, as Orange playing very passively.
Yeah, one thing I want to point out how Mushi's playing this particular game right now. He's putting traps absolutely everywhere. He just wants to catch Alchemist.
Oh, Yo Scepter on the Darkseer on the neutral camp, as it's going to be a Winrunner flying in. The Dreamcoat is going to be enough, as a Bro Strike going to fly in, teleporting in. Epicenter being challenged as well. I don't think that was completely necessary, but I guess better safe than sorry, as they once again killed the Darkseer. Darkseer losing a lot of gold. But Orange not really making too many attempts. Their top lane's pushed. And Darkseer is dead for 45 seconds. Now is the chance if you're Orange.
Well, is it a chance? Because Magnus is, Magnus is a very, very difficult hero to push against. His AoE is deceptively large, and especially when you have to back up things like Twin Head Dragon, as well as that Shadow Demon. really has a difficult time pushing. I think they will not push unless they get a kill on Alchemist or Magnus. So far, they're not finding those kills. But back to my point of Templar Assassin, look at his trap placements in front of every neutral camps. He just wanted to catch somebody that's doing the neutrals by themselves and just go pick them off, because he definitely does have the burst physical damage output to do that. And I mean, in this particular game, I feel like Orange is, they're out of it until they get those pick off, and they're just desperately looking for them. And the reason why we don't see too much action in this game right now is that Scourge will not push until they get the pick off, and Sentinel says, we have all the time in the world. We'll just turtle and farm until we get their, 6 slots Alchemist full carry mode.
Yeah, keep in mind Orange doing a nice job recovering. The score was 13-7, now it's 14-13. They got an Aegis, but like you said, they will lose to Alchemist in the late game. Not really too big of a question, especially with the backup of Darkseer and Magnus. Not really too good to go against that, especially with Magnus with that Empower and the cleave from Alchemist. Holy crap. As Orange grouping up, I think they know that the Aegis is going to time out. No, Mushi just going to farm up, trying to keep up the map control as much as possible. But I wonder what's... Because like you said, the Sentinel know that Orange's chances to go for the pickoff. So eventually Orange will have to make their move. And how will they go about their team fight? That's really the question. They're going to have to rely on Sand King a lot, I imagine.
Yeah, Sand King, I mean, he's level 11, so it's decent. Let's not forget Lina. I mean, with the burst damage, if you could find Alchemist without his ultimate turn on, it could be pretty big. Oh, nice phase here. Blink back out. Alchemist gonna stun himself. Not the biggest thing. And Alchemist going for the Lothar's Edge. Normally, I dislike Lothar's Edge if your entire game plan is to focus around kind of, go for the late game absolute carry. But in this particular game, it really forces the Scourge to at least send 2 people to gank you, because in between the movement speed gain of Chemical Rage and Lothar's Edge, they need at least 2 or 3 to lock you down, and let alone kill you. So
even as a third item, I'm not too big of a fan of it as a third item, especially with Sand King as a gem.
It's not bad. It gives them the initiation power more initiation power. And to be honest, it's not a bad item overall. It gives you attack speed, which synergizes greatly with Chemical Rage. It's a decent damage item. I mean, I don't think gold is the issue. I don't think this is where you have only one chance to get a particular item, and if you miss your chance, you lose the game. I mean, they have so much more late game waiting for them, but they gotta defend their outer towers. This tier 2 cannot be taken for free, which seems to be the case.
Yeah, Lothar's is actually a pretty good M, and I completely forgot that Lothar's does give you attack speed now, as that is definitely going to help with the base attack time of Alchemist being 1.0, ridiculous base attack time, but Mushi's going to get himself a free tier 2 tower.
Yeah.
BKB is finished, as Orange is going to be pretty happy, risked nothing, lost nothing, but still, Sino, they know they can just wait around. As they're going to do that. Magnus pretty close to his refresher, I imagine? No, it doesn't look like it. Darkseer, again, not too much item progression being made. Meanwhile, Hex is finished on the Windrunner. Puck with that Yules has had it for a while. Lina, not too much of anything.
Oh, he has that refresher finish right now. It was just being delivered on the chicken.
Oh, wow. So, next team fight, if Magnus... Now Magnus can pretty much use it just for one, and then just refresh it and try to catch everybody else. He can pretty much just use it for TA, or just use it for a pickoff if he really needs to.
Yeah, I mean, earlier you were asking a question of how Orange will approach this team fight, and honestly, I don't know. Like, with Magnus being such a high priority target, and what are you actually going to do with Alchemist with a Empower on, with a Iron Shell on? He's already doing, 32 damage from the Acid Spray, 45 from the Radiance. This is just, just vanilla damage. Iron Shell on top, and you're cleaving with Empower. And of course, he has insane movement speed thanks to the Empower and Chemical Rage. Like, what are you going to do against that?
Yo, dude, stop getting ganked.
I gotta ward up, 1 sec.
Well, just gotta place some sentries, or may take one of these gems. As Darkseer did lose that gem, has fished the pipe himself. Jakiro, not too much anything, not even level 9. Game all about positioning at this stage in the game, as the Malaysian team's definitely going a bit differently, taking a lot of influence from both scenes. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the Malaysian teams do against the Philippine teams, the Pinoy teams, in the full SMM. Sand King's going to blink in very aggressively, trying to find himself a Jakiro. Does about half damage as Darkseer is going to surge out. Looks like Alchemist does get the Unstable Concoction. Vacuum going to suck in 2 heroes. Disruption being casted. Sand King is going to be the first one to fall. Meanwhile, Lina's going to fall shortly after. There goes the gem again. And it's going to be 2 for nothing. Didn't have to use reverse polarity. As Puck is gonna go back in, not too sure what Puck is doing. He's gonna cast the Illusory, or Puck is just gonna feed. Wow. Really? Really, Extinct?
Well, he puts himself a Yule Scepter
No,
backup
JY.
phase, Blink Dagger. Oh, Blink. No, the Acid Spray will cancel that Blink unless you have some insane human reaction. I'm not sure even you could get out of that. Really doing his best job to put on a J impression. Well, his name is JY. You know, it just makes you think.
Just makes you think.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to live
So
up
how
to
did
his
that team
idol.
actually work out?
Sanking blinked in, got a Burrow Strike on Jakiro, Power Shot came, Jakiro got to half HP, and then, you know, no reverse polarity was used, nothing. Orange didn't really want to commit with all their heroes, so Sanking and Lina just fed. That's pretty much how it broke out. They tried to kill Jakiro, and then they just backed off and fed.
Again, I don't want to be too hard on Orange. I just don't know what their actual lineup plan to winning is. Maybe you just go for you go for those random pickoffs and you find one and just kind of snowball out of control. I don't think they have a calculated way to win. It's not like, all right, we're gonna do this first and then do that and then do that and we win.
Keep in mind, Orange is one of the best Dota 2 teams in the world. I don't think I'm wrong in saying that. And Mushi and Extinct have been playing pretty much exclusively Dota 2. They did boot camp a bit, but I'm sure the communication's definitely not as good as if they had Yamate and Ice Ice Ice. Do you think I'm wrong in saying Orange is one of the best Dota 2 teams in the world?
I mean, they were recently on a tear, so yeah, they're definitely
So
very, very
communication
good, so.
definitely could be a huge issue. Especially, I imagine, in a wild Malaysian crowd audience. As you know, those Southeast Asians, they love them Dota.
Nobody loves the Dota more than the Pinoys. But I guess Malaysian's pretty close. It seems like Mushi is starting to siege up on this third tower. If somehow like Sino mess up right now, I guess Scourge can still take a Rax and make this a game. I mean, they still have this Roshan advantage. They can keep getting Aegis, which doesn't mean too much because the actual Aegis is not doing anything for them, considering that they're not even using it for engagement. They're just getting it for extra gold and EXP, which is exactly not the best use of a Roshan, but hey, it's extra something that hopefully will help them get themselves back in the game. But again, this game is Sino's to win or lose. They are so far ahead in terms of what the hero can do. They have definitely survived the most dangerous stage of the game, which it was, you know, the TA getting that quick blink dagger and try to pick everybody off, and that very offensive tri lane on the bot. They've survived mostly throughout all of that.
Well, keep in mind, Orange has a lot of natural Hex carries, and you always say Hex is probably the best item in the game. I agree with you. So
True.
they definitely have a lot of room to get those Hexes up, but Alchemist just picked up his BKB, so it's going to be a full 10 seconds, and once that goes off, Alchemist is going to be essentially immortal, especially with no Ghost Scepters or Force Staffs on the side of Orange. No Force Staffs, no Ghost Scepters at all, so Alchemist can pretty much just go to town.
Yep, and now you see Mushi doing his illusion. I don't want to even call it micro. What you do here, you select illusions and you hit M on your keyboard and force your illusions to move at Roshan, not attack them, move to Roshan, and thus they will basically tank it for Rosh.
Yep,
so
still works in Dota 2 as well, so
yep.
keep that in mind. As Mushi one hit away from winning the Roshan, Puck gets last hit. Mushi probably raging at Puck, saying, what the heck, dude, I did all the work. And you pick up 500 gold, as it looks like the Sand gonna get the strike. Mushi doing so much damage, immediately cleans up the Darkseer, but he does get the wall off. Sand King's gonna take the fall. BKB Mushi trying to go in, trying to do some work. Alchemist actually surprisingly low into his HP. His BKB not doing too much, as I don't even know if he activated it, as I think that just might have been, oh, he did. I thought that was the Empower, as different animations. Magnus gonna get Laguna'd and sent up into the air, as he's gonna walk through the wall, gonna blink back out, does get the reverse polarity on just the Puck, but he has refreshes so he can afford to use it liberally, as it's gonna be a 3-for-1. That team fight very scattered, as Orange, you know, that was a very scattered team fight, but unfortunately did not make too much happen from that, and looks like Mushi is gonna lose the Aegis. Reverse polarity just for that, wow.
Wow, man, Mushi, a big mistake. Well, I was gonna say maybe you know, where's that Mel hit? But there is a gem on Twin Head Dragon, so really nothing he could do. And look at the Radiance Chase preventing that Blink Dagger P to be used. Give him that stun, yeah, stun right to the face, and the Purge on top of that as well. One big thing about that last particular team fight was that as the Templar Assassin jumped in and popped the BKB, Templar Shadow Demon immediately threw that Purge on him. And sure, you know, the slow really does not matter too much when he's right-clicking, but the slow on the attack speed matters so much, as it really allowed Alchemist to kind of have his free reign on the team fight. And you see the beginning of the team fight, not even the Alchemist didn't even get what a 2-3-man reverse polarity. Those are
No,
basically
one-man
one-man
reverse polarity is on 2 heroes as use a
Wow.
refresher on just the Alchemist, but it looks like Alchemist does take the fall, use the reverse polarity on just the TA as they just shouting and trying to desperately escape. Can he get away? No, Dragon Slave. Ridiculous range, managed to pick up the kill as Mushi gonna buy back, trying to get himself back in the fight. Darkseid is just gonna bait out the trap, surge away to his heart's content. Alchemist, does he have buyback? He should. He's probably just trying to save it, give Orange a false sense of security. Meanwhile, Puck has finished the Hex himself. So with the 2 Hexes up on the side of Orange, do you think that changes anything?
I mean, they are going to make this team fight really drawn out. Now, normally drawn out team fights is not exactly what you want to do against a very, very stacked enemy carry. Because eventually, you could kite them around for an hour, but eventually they'll kill you. But against Alchemist, if you kite him for the duration of that Chemical Rage, you actually have a shot in terms of killing him. If you just looked at what happened near that tier 2 tower in the mid lane, that Alchemist got nuked down easily just by an Epicenter and a Laguna Blade. 2 supports really nuking him down, and that's because he doesn't have Chemical Rage. It really shows you the night and day difference of that ultimate. So, maybe I spoke a little bit too soon in terms of this game is Sino's, there's win or loss. Orange, perhaps all along saying we are just going to go for the late game victory against the Alchemist and take advantage take advantage of that disadvantage of that Chemical Rage. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense.
A little bit. Made as much sense as the tongue twister. But you still managed to get that across, so I'm going to give you this one.
Okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. As, yeah, drawn out team fights definitely doesn't help Alchemist, but Darkseer, Puck, definitely heroes that can benefit from that. Sand King, unfortunately Sand King not the tankiest hero, as I think Orange overall has more heroes that benefit from drawn out team fights, but they're still facing up against the Darkseer, who I think is the king of that sort of engagement. As looks like Orange going to group up. They don't have the Aegis, they don't have buyback up on Mushi, but they're going to blink in immediately, one-shot the Alchemist with Laguna Blade and the meld. BKB dropped for no reason, just saying, alright, I'm going to grow super big and just one-shot you, basically. As Alchemist does have buyback, so he is going to have to buy back now, and BKB is going to be on cooldown, so Orange, we'll see what they do once Alchemist buys back.
Yep. Again, looking for the pick here for the Orange team. If they
Maelstrom
do get the pick,
Windrunner.
they'll get the push, and of course Maelstrom, obviously actually pretty good against Alchemist, considering that Alchemist will be stacking a lot of armor. Maelstrom doing magical damage in this sense, and they're slowly working against the Siege, and they're not forcing a buyout on Alchemist, at least not yet. Templar Assassin taking his time here, working on the tier 2. I think Sentinel will be more than happy to give away that tier 2 if the Alchemist doesn't have to buy back, and from the looks of it, I think they doesn't have to. They will just nuke it, couple wave with their, there you go, poison, shockwave. And yeah, and this is again, you don't want your Alchemist to be dead, but this is not the worst thing they could have against them, to be honest.
Yeah, overall game seems pretty even, as Orange can get these pickoffs. As Magnus really needs to get himself known, does pick up the Force Staff, so that's going to be very good in terms of just the maneuverability, trying to get in and out of those team fights a bit better. Winner trying to continue to farm up. I imagine she's going to go for the Mjolnir next. Sand King try to take up as well. Puck, we'll see what he goes for. Probably Shivas, I'm guessing. TA, not too sure what she's going to get next. Maybe crits? I imagine it must be crits. Meanwhile, on the side of Sentinel. Sentinel support's so very poor, but, they don't really have to get too much farm when they have Alchemist and Magnus and Darkseer on their team.
Looks like we're gonna see a big bait. Oh, they blink in. Unfortunately, that was everybody right there. Disruption. The Sand King, being the good support he is, just runs the other way. Sentinel says, "You fooled us once, shame on me. Fooled us twice, shame on you." And they did not fall for that one. So good big smoking using the kit. That's one of the oldest trick in the book. I can't believe Orange fell for that one.
Yeah, some EG/No Tidehunter.
No, that's not an old trick in the book. That shit was like. That shit great. That was on next level stuff.
It's that mind game that's so
even Ruminus was impressed with that one. So and
Dang.
that man was hard. That's hard to impress him.
This is true, as I've tried many a time, but unfortunately I can't manage to seal the deal. Apparently, as that's gonna make
too
me
small.
very
He
sad.
says.
Dang. Windrunner has Acer and Fish the Mjolnir. Will they defend this push? As, no, Sentinel just gonna back off, playing this very safe, as, apparently everybody but the Chinese just like playing very safe these days. Chinese only teams playing aggressive. And the Pinoys, of course.
So ironic that the Chinese is going balls deep, and you see teams like Evil Geniuses farming 60 minutes, no tie hunter. Man, what has the world become?
Yeah, them patch adaptations, adaptions. My English need ruminous. I'm struggling here, man. I'm struggling. As
I think everybody just needs more rumors.
everybody, as well, there's a reason why he's only shown up on one commentary. He's basically a ninja.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, just continuing to farm up. I imagine Orange will try to take the Roshan once the next Roshan respawns and then try to make something happen, but who knows? I mean, they already have their hexes. Like, I'm not really too sure how much more item progression they can make. Meanwhile, the Sentinel can make a bunch more moves in terms of item progression. Alchemist hasn't finished the AC, he can sell Lothars, he can get boots of travel. Eventually, when it comes down to the late game, could even just sell the Radiance, just to cap off his item slots.
I have never done that in my life, but I guess if that's what he wants, it still gives you plus 60 damage.
Oh, Epicenter gonna be used. Alchemist. Oh, defensive disruption gonna be used as a dust appearance gonna be popped. Alchemist is gonna survive. What a disruption! This Xiaodun. Big plays, man. As Sand King gonna get stunned, gonna get nuked down. Alchemist is gonna go back in. He's gonna take the fall to the Templar Assassin. Mushi just saying this won't come back to bite me in the ass later on. Alchemist does buy back. Mushi gonna just have to back off right now. Jakira gonna teleport out as well. Looks like Magnus did take the fall. I don't even know what Magnus did that fight. I imagine didn't do too much of anything. As Darks are gonna get shackled by a hasted chicken, gonna fly across the screen. Alchemist with that buyback trying to go back in, but no Chemical Rage. Can he escape if he takes the fall? This could be a huge loss, but Darkseer does manage to get the surge off. Clutch plays by the support players of Sino, as Darkseer is going to be enough to usher away the remains of Orange's offense. Windrunner is going to take the fall. Alchemist going to town. Piano picks up the last hit. And man, these team fights, I have never seen a game with these long of team fights, as these team fights last a ridiculous amount of time.
And I mean, this game is really, it just shows you so why it's so interesting to have Alchemist in a particular game. Normally, I feel like Alchemist is just one of the more interesting hero as a carry. We've seen him quite a bit in Dota 1 when the Chinese played it about, I want to say 2 years ago now, 1.5 years ago, but now
Yeah,
it's just
6'8", 6'9". So.
Yeah, resurging in this particular game. Normally, in this stage of the game, he would have a Assault Carriers to take it into battle. And to be honest, he had to go into Assault Carriers, but he's choosing not to buy it because he has to save for the buyback. And you saw how important buyback was in that particular engagement. Chemical Rage got popped at the end, and again, he dies still, even with defensive disruption. And to be honest, you were saying, you know, what is Scourge farming? I feel like, yeah, they still have room for growth in terms of damage output. Puck could actually get some DPS item. I mean, have you seen like a Monkey King Bar Puck? Like that actually hurts quite a bit. Windrunner's doing quite a bit.
Monkey King Bar, anything hurts.
Well, true enough. But I mean, Puck definitely have the mobility and survivability to actually use that as well. And the two supports, I mean, we're not too impressed with things like Sand King and Lina, especially 50 minutes in the game. But Laguna Blaze still hurts a lot.
Yeah, I think that's the primary reason why Alchemist is going Reaver instead of AC. That Laguna Blade is just tearing through that Alchemist like a hot knife through butter. As
awkward as to say that, you know, go hard instead of armor against Templar Assassin. On paper, that looks like the most ridiculous thing, but in this particular game, the application is right here.
Yeah. What's the cooldown Laguna Blade at max level?
I think 1 minute.
Really? I thought it was like 50 seconds. It's pretty ridiculous.
Maybe 50 seconds with the Axe Scepter. It's really low.
Meanwhile, this top tier 2 tower going to be sieged upon Darkseer, definitely the hero in that team fight. Magnus, I don't think he even used his double reverse. He has ultimate up right now. As this Magnus, after making huge plays in the beginning, has not really been too big of a factor, but all you need with Magnus is just one ultimate. And that's the danger of playing against Magnus. As Puck gonna blink in, Sand King gonna try to get the deny. Is gonna try to escape, but he is just gonna get stunned. Magnus does get the wrist player onto 2. There goes your Laguna Blade. There goes your Epicenter. Immediately melt in a blink of an eye, but it looks like Mushi going to town on that bottom lane. What will Sino do? As there's going to be a base trade, but Mushi already going to work, and the middle racks will take the fall as well. Windrunner with that Maelstrom and the Focus Fire just ripping through that tower, and Mushi is going to clean up 2 racks. Before even the Sentinel can claim one, they're gonna go right for the throne. Wow, this game just got super intense. Magnus trying to get the skewer onto Puck. Puck gets a Yules off. Can he escape? Does get the silence. Here comes the teleports back. T-Rex do take the fall. Mushi does buy a teleport scroll at the opposing team. Fallon, Windrunner is gonna escape. This game just got into the realm of super crazy as Magnus is gonna get another reverse blade off. Gonna get searched away. Mushi's so tank as he's gonna escape right now. Alchemist does BKB up, but no Chemical Rage, so he's pretty much not doing too much of anything as Mushi does pick up the kill on Darkseer, and meanwhile it looks like Alchemist is trying to run back and forth. Oh man, the rating stage too good as it's going to town. One more hit does clean off the Alchemist. Wow, what risky maneuvers by both teams, but Orange coming out ahead in that exchange.
Oh my god, so Magnotar gets a shockwave chaos on the top here against Mushi, just snipes him off and TP's back out. I mean, he hasn't had the big plays, but that last 2 minutes of play, got the reverse polarity to start the push and got the pick off against Templar Assassin. Really, really huge play, but really what was the MVP of the fight for me was at the beginning, Puck canceled 2 TPs. There were 2 TPs who were going back trying to defend against the mid and bot, and a single Dream Core or Yule Scepter, whatever he did out there, canceled it, and eventually he did die, but that allowed both the mid and bot lane to be taken. And this is really a game, as if you can see right now, Orange going to the Roshan, that's going to be Aegis and Cheese. Again, I corrected myself halfway through. Maybe we're calling this game, or I'm calling this game a little bit too early, as somehow Orange finds their way to win a game, or winning this game out of nowhere, it seems.
This game not over. Alchemist definitely, I mean, he pretty much gets, like, normal creep farm and some with Goblin's Greed against super creeps. Can definitely handle mega creeps, especially with the help of Empower, but it's going to be difficult to push against this, especially with... Oh, Jakiro actually just managed to hit level 15. His levels jumped up in the blink of an eye, and this everybody is why you need a co-caster. I did not catch the teleports, as definitely that did play a huge factor in Orange taking 2 racks. So if you are a new caster in these types of games, get yourself a co-caster.
Or watch a game beforehand. I mean, nothing wrong with that. I don't do it, but I mean, I don't think that's a bad thing to do.
Meanwhile, Windrunner, Mjolnir Hex, I imagine she's pretty rich, 1900 gold in the bank. Meanwhile, Mushi did buy back, has the Aegis now, so does not have to use that buyback for a bit. Alchemist does finish the heart, but again, just like you said, the difference between when he's in Chemical Rage, when he's not in the Chemical Rage, has just been night and day. It's just so astounding. Oh, I have 4,000 HP. Guess what? It's back down to 2,700.
Yep, it does give you 900 raw extra HP, and of course 60 HP regen per second. That's that's just a defensive component. He's fast as lightning, and 1.0 at base attack time, like B-Blanc point out. It's really insane. If 1v1, Templar Assassin versus Alchemist with Chemical Rage on, Mushi's running. Of course, the other way is around when Chemical Rage is off. So, yeah, I wonder how Sino will take this game. Obviously, there's more experienced players on the Scourge side. I don't want to say Orange is a more experienced team, considering that, like we talked about, they're not really a team. It's Mushi and then Extinct standing in. But with Mushi on captain, like he's seen this. He's done this in the past twice.
I've seen some things, man.
Yeah, he's seen some things. So he knows exactly what the route of victory is, and I can't believe I doubted Mushi earlier. And now it all makes sense, and they're slowly grinding this push in, and no longer are the Sentinel team on the offense. You got to keep in mind the Scourge still has that gimp factor. I mean, a blink hex coming from Puck, or the hex just running in from the Windrunner. Shackle shot's been great, and again, Laguna Blade. Look at the Slayer, level 16 with the blink dagger. If his team's going, she could go right after. Same thing with the Sanking, who's been using that blink dagger to great effect. So, Scourge going for this win.
Here's a question for you, Lumi. As once Aegis times out, TA does have finished Bariza on the courier, I imagine. Had the recipe at the very least, but once Aegis times out and TA finishes the Bariza, should she sell the Blink in order to free up an item slot? Because she's gonna get travels.
Yeah, she's gonna get travels.
But do you think she should sell Blink, get like...
I don't think the game will last that long, but theoretically, if it does, is that how you say that word?
Theoretically.
Missing.
You can say like the hardest tongue twister in the world, but you can't say theoretically.
Theoretically, if the game does go that long, I think you adjust to what Alchemist is getting. For example, if he gets something like a butterfly, then you go MKB.
So you do sell the Blink.
I'm not sure what you do sell though. Maybe
I'd sell the Blink. Cause like, what
Yeah, your team is already going in. The good thing about Blink is that if you do win the fight, you could actually chase a lot and get a lot more kills with the Blink, as opposed to just have the traps alone. So I'm not too sure. So
Oh, Smoke a Deceit gonna spy a Windrunner as she's gonna get disrupted. Hex gonna fly and Mushi's just gonna get the heck out of there. Demonic Purge does catch the Windrun. Vacuum gonna suck Windrunner back in. Will they kill it? Here comes a massive amount of damage with the Purge and the Soul Catcher. I think Windrunner should have buyback 1700 gold at this stage of the game. I think she will. But meanwhile, it looks like Orange going to town as Puck. Can he escape? Lena is going to get stunned by an unstable concoction. Here comes a burst strike by Sandcake. Lena just going to die in a matter of hits. But that's going to draw Alchemist away from the fight for a bit. As Puck, can he escape? Can he blink out? I think he already used it. And yes, Puck is going to take the fall. Orange making some sloppy mistakes. Meanwhile, Mushi going to town on the bottom lane. Well, not yet, but he's going to do that. As he's going to clear the range back barracks and try to clean up some of the moon walls, allowing the creeps easier access to the throne. But still, Orange probably not too happy with that engagement.
And you can see that having the advantage of a 2 racks up is really slowly taking a toll against the Sentinel. If you're down, let's say for example, if the Sentinel is down a couple of heroes right now, they have to be forced to buy back. Scourge, they're down a couple of heroes. They don't need to. Consider that they're dead right on the opposite end of the map. And until that push comes to racks, they will just chill. And for now, they're keeping, obviously, their attention on the top lane has they have lost some melee racks in this particular lane. And to be honest, Mushi's constantly on the bot lane, and if you don't dedicate at least 1 or 2 heroes, I think he's going to go for a snipe here. This could be huge if he does pick it off. An immediate Chemical Rage, wow. And he's actually trying to fight his way out. And Alchemist says, whoa.
He didn't use the trap. Why didn't he use the trap? As
I don't think it would have mattered. He had Lothars anyway, and Mushi had the detection.
That's true.
And here we go. It looks like we're going to see a big defense. They're going to try to force out at least 1 buyback from Puck. Puck does have to go for it, and Mushi walking back, of course, does not have the room for the TP scores yet, but they don't have the Alchemist either. Alchemist does have TP Breach of Travel, though, so he can actually Breach of Travel as he is doing that exact thing right now. And let's see if they're going to get a Rax at the very least. The Radiant team, or the Sentinel team is very grouped up, and that's very, very good.
Oh, Mushi gonna blink in, pop the BKB. Sandking gets to Epicenter trying to focus down Magnus. If they can kill Magnus, they are gonna kill Magnus. He is out of the equation completely. Well, Alchemist does kill the Sandking. Magnus does buy back Kenny Boots to travel in. He's just gonna try to skewer his way. He should try to defend the bottom lane instead. He is gonna do that. Meanwhile, Alchemist does get hexed after the BKB ends. He's gonna try to go back in with the Lothar's Edge. Looks like Mushi does clean off Teal. Alchemist does get 1 more whack with that Lothar's Edge onto the Lena. Meanwhile, Sandking, after the buyback, is so dangerous, close to dying again, but Alchemist's Chemical Rage is going to time out right now. Here comes a stun in on Alchemist. Alchemist, can he escape? Looks like Laguna Blade gonna get blade mailed as... Wow, Gem is going to be dropped. Here comes Alchemist back into the fight, but he has no Chemical Rage, as he might just take the fall right now. Can he escape? Magnus does manage to get in. Reverse flirty onto 2, a double reverse. Very, very nicely done by the Magnus, recovering in the nick of time. Mushi buys back, and this game is turning into a crazy game of epic proportions. Shackle Shot gonna fly back onto the Darks here, and I'm gonna take a breath, so it's all up to you, man.
And looks like we do have to hex. Oh no, Alchemist keep hexing, and the stun of Unstable Concoction backfires. He's getting focused. Lothar says not doing anything right under the tower, and he really, really needs that lifesteal. Magnus gets focused as well. Power Shot cleans up, and everybody's on full retreat. But can you run away from Mushi with the Blink Dagger and multiple traps? Starks to survive with about 100 HP, and he is going to survive. A buyback here coming from Alchemist. Is he going to take this fight? I do imagine Chemical Rage is still on cooldown, and he's got to back off as that throne is starting to take some huge damage. We talked about drawn out team fights will outlast that first Chemical Range, but more drawn out team fight, even longer team fights will allow the Alchemist to go into that second Chemical Range, because cooldown's only 45 seconds, and I do believe it lasts like what, 25 seconds, so yeah, you're not 25. Spending too much time away from that Chemical Rage, considering the full duration and whatnot. So this game is just simply too hard to call. To be honest, it really just comes down to how quickly Alchemist will kill under that Chemical Rage, and looking at how these team fights are going, he actually just can't kill the Templar Assassin or the Windrunner or the Puck quick enough. He's just going for the Sandking, he's going for the Windrunner, or excuse me, going for the Sandking and Lena inverse, and I think that's really a bad sign for Sino, because when your heaviest DPS is, you know, kind of resorting to taking out supports, when you have the items take out enemy carries, you're not exactly a grand old position.
This Alchemist's best friend will be the Darkster with that Vlad's finish. AC is finished as well as Vlad's very nice item choice. Magnus Did manage to get himself a reverse play, did have to buy back, so he's going to be on buyback cooldown for quite a bit, but a lot of heroes buy back on the orange side. I know Mushi bought back, I think Sand King bought back as well, I imagine. A couple more heroes died and bought back as well. So this game definitely very difficult to call as
yeah, I'm giving up. I'm giving up on calling the game because I think also Orange fans just shat brakes on the mid lane here during that push, because if the Templar Assassin or anybody else died there, they would have just lost Throne easily to that Alchemist. Alchemist damage output is absolutely insane, and Alchemist will stun himself between Chemical Rage and things like AC.
Just make sure we're synced 52, 53, 54, 55.
Okay, I'm like a second behind. Yeah. Between Chemical Rage and Lothar's Edge and things like Soul Carriers, he actually attacks max movement speed, or at least very close to it. So here we go. The Sentinel is going to do one more push, but look at what Mushi's doing. Mushi's saying TP back, TP back. They're like, nope, we're going to win it right here. Acid Spray down on the tower. And here we go. The tower is taking some down. Shackle Shot not going to do too much. There's a Hex, perhaps on the wrong target. Epicenter gets canceled, perhaps by the Acid Spray. Oh no, that's a big whiff. Reverse on the two supports, and they're going to burst them down.
Mushi going to work on the tier 4 towers. This is going to be teleport back. The tree is under assault. Alcus is going to get used up in the air. Mushi wants the victory, smells it. Will Alchemist escape? Chemical Rage times out. Alchemist, can you fight this? Looks like Sino might be in a bit of trouble, but it looks like the refraction immediately going to get drained right back down. Alchemist is trying to go to work even without the Chemical Rage. Says, I don't need it. And it looks like Puck going to take the fall as well. Unfortunately, the Sentinel were unable to take mid-racks. They had to defend. The tree was under such heavy assault. And Sentinel, how will they push? I mean, we saw Shadow Demon and Jakiro teleport back, and Puck was just like, lol, Hex.
Low Hex, low Yule Scepter. I mean, just delayed all in the world's time. And to be honest, I think Music V, what he's gonna do right now is basically wait for the cooldown of the Boot Travel, 60 seconds, and just basically TP right back in the mid lane. It is his teammate's job to make sure that every single lane is pushed, and you can see that he's just basically pushing out bot lane to make sure that none of that shenanigan is happening again. But with the World Tree at 2000 HP, you're always very wary of backdoor. Of course, there's not many Booty Travel hero, and here we go. Booty Travel just cooled down, and they're gonna go right back on the mid lane. And with Mushi dead for 50 seconds,
no buyback.
Uh-oh, this is going to be at the very least mid-racks. Nice Shackle Shot. That's 3.75 seconds that they bought for themselves. And here we go. Morrison. Oh, Winter, gotta be careful. Nice Hex here. And now he's gonna stun himself. LSA, Laguna, all these burst damage coming in. Where is the AoE? And Alchemist still being focused. Just focus on the racks, my man. This is why you want to have Mantis out, because Mantis out illusion probably would brought down the racks. Look at how quickly Glyph, again, buying all sorts of time. 25 more seconds here to Mushi. Racks number 1 will be going down. Just go for the drones, my boys. Just go for the drone. Oh no, Chemical Rage is gonna run out right about now, so drone probably not exactly the best choice. He's gonna go for the bot tower. Mushi's back in 12 seconds. Make up your mind, Alchemist. Where are you going? He wants to fight now, but he's gonna get stunned. He's gonna get Hex. He's gonna... Oh, huge reverse! That's gonna be on 2. Where's the second reverse? BKB gets pop here. Alchemist just killing everything that moves right now. Finally, they have discovered the throne. Yule Scepter flying him up in the air. Alchemist does not care. Nice Shackle Shot, buying more time here. Templar Assassin.
Oh no, Mushi gonna get stunned by Alchemist. Mushi's gonna take the fall. Oh my god, Mushi did not have the BKB up or activated prematurely, and that might just be the end of this game, as looks like Alchemist gonna get shackled in place. Winner doing so much damage. Look at Lina auto attack. Holy crap. Alchemist is gonna have to back off as Darkseid trying to go work with that Blade Mail Music V. With just the reins and Acid Spray, can Music V escape? He is gonna take the fall from Windrunner. Oh my god, as Alchemist is gonna be back on a Trials in, and this might just be the game. They can't kill him again, as Darkseid is going to take the fall, buys back as well. Winner just doing so much damage, but here comes the Chemical Rage Alchemist saying, you may have killed me once, but I will live again. As Winner is going to escape, the tower throne is going to be under heavy assault. Yule's going to send the Alchemist back up into the air. Here comes the Light Strike Array, as looks like the static field going to be applied by the Mjolnir, but Alchemist does not care about Dream Calls. Magnus with another wrist play. They're going to clean up the supports. Mushi dead for 40 seconds, and that's gonna be GG! Like that impression.
Absolutely speechless at how this gotta be one of the best Dota 1 games I've casted, like, all time. This is absolutely insane. I have no more things to say. I gotta go, but this is like a crazy game. Just absolutely insane.
So, yeah, thanks for watching. be sure to subscribe to me, subscribe to Luminous, and thanks for watching. Enough said. We're out. Bye.